Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021. Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less. So it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
For 200 years,
Good day, good people. Once again, you got the grumpy old nerds in your ear. It is I, the ringmaster for this particular circus, Uncle John. We are joined by two of your favorite uncles as well. We have Uncle Percy calling from the planet of Iowa. Hi, Uncle Percy. And as always, calling from the planet of Brooklyn, we have Uncle Rod. What's good? Uh-oh, can't hear you, but it's good to see you. Nothing else, I guess. Um, as always, we wishing the best for Uncle DJ and Auntie Nicole, wherever they may be, wherever the four directionless winds may blow. But I would be remiss if I did not begin about how I became curious about offending black Greeks. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a show on HBO called Insecure, created by a young lady by the name of Issa Rae. Issa Rae came to prominence by having her own little web series on YouTube called Adventures of an Awkward Black Girl, which I became a fan of. And then she transferred that kind of sort of into the show that is on HBO now called Insecure. Insecure is a story about a young lady named Issa, coincidence, I think not, who is maneuvering the dating scene, life and love in Los Angeles as a single black woman. Now, just for clarification, oh, yes, Rod. Still can't
Can't
hear
hear
you.
him.
Yeah, still can't hear you. Hey, Uncle Roy, if we could listen to the docile tones of Uncle Rod, that would be fantastic. Oh, something on his end. Oh, so he said it's your fault, Rod. Y'all sound like two of the kids I deal with in school. He did it. No, he did. No, it's his fault. No, it's his fault. Okay, so Rod, you work on that while I finish giving the introduction of Insecure. So, uh-oh, so that means he told Rod to get out and come back.
I
Okay,
think he said
so
no.
Rod said, "To hell with you, I'm staying right here." Again, like the kids that I deal with in school every day. Yeah, there you go. Come on, let's go. Let's step outside. No, no, I'm not leaving. Okay, so back to Insecure. So the show is about a single black woman maneuvering life and love in Los Angeles. Rod really ain't going nowhere. Um, Maneuvering life and love in Los Angeles, and it has its fans. It's like a soap opera-y, half-hour sitcom-y type show, which is it's entertaining. I'm a fan of the show I watch. Um, this is its final season in year five, and we are looking at coming off of a season where there's been turmoil amongst the friends. Um, some of the oh, is Rod back? Rod,
Can you hear me now?
can we hear you? Say something.
Yep.
Yes, Rod is here. All right. And I really wanted Rod to be here too to discuss this particular issue. So back to my summary. Um, so the women's security, none of this has anything to do with what the topic that we're going to talk about. What the hell? I got time to waste. So we're to the part Issa and her best friend. I'm stuck. I don't know if y'all can still hear me, but they came back together for attended. Hear me, by the way? Can y'all still hear me? Because I'm here.
I can hear you, just frozen.
And no
Yeah,
one's
you frozen.
answering. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I'm in an attractive pose as I'm frozen. All the
They
friends
didn't catch
Ethan
you
had
with
a
your
gaggle
mouth
of
open.
female friends make their way to Stanford. I'm not going to go there. Okay. So they go to Stanford for their 10-year, 20-year, whatever, school reunion. And what happened about this particular episode is one of them is an AKA. Is an AKA. Thing is how they're going back to school character has on, aka that's using the term kind of loosely because she wears a lot of pink and gold. At one point, she does have on an aka sweater. So because the actor portrays the character who's the actress Amanda Seals, not an aka. So come to a situation where you're looking at a character who is a character that is portraying something, and black regions lost black minds because this woman dared to wear the colors and the letters of this Greek organization. Now, Rod, if I'm not mistaken, you are Greek, correct?
I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Yes,
A proud member, I'm sure. Uh, I am not
absolutely.
Greek, and Uncle Percy, I don't believe you're. I don't believe you're a Greek author. Is that correct? Oh, stuff. Okay.
I think Percy's
So,
frozen.
yeah, I think. Well, that's a mean look he's getting too. So, my wife is a member of Black Greeks, a member of Delta Sigma Theta. So one day in the talking to my wife, I said, you know what? What about and wearing the colors and letters of a Greek organization if she is not a member of that organization? When I say my wife went in on about how that woman represents the organization that she is not a member, and holy cow, this is really a thing. So I'm going to ask you, as a member of a Black Greek organization, if I'm saying that correctly, what is your and who is a
I think you got froze, Big John.
uh-oh. So I, I, I'm asking you, Rod, as a member of a Black fraternity, how do you feel?
Okay. I could totally understand why your wife went in. Being a Delta, I could
Mhm.
totally understand why other uh, members of Black Greek letter organizations kind of went in on what is the young lady's name? Amanda Seals, I believe, is one who's playing the
Amanda
character
Seals.
who's supposed to be an AKA. And from what I understand, early on in the show,
Mhm.
she's always been an AKA, and what they did was they were careful to just put her in the colors and not actually show the letters or the shield. So you would hear her say it and see her wearing the colors, but not actually see the letters or the shield. And I'm guessing that was okay by them because we didn't hear anything about it sooner. Um, I think when you
Right.
actually, yeah, they actually got, they actually got offended. Well, some members got offended because you saw the letters and the shield, from what I understand. So, you know, Seals actually went on, made an Instagram post and said, I'm just an actor, and this is a part that I'm playing, and my character is a member of this organization and not myself. And basically was saying, people chill out about it. Um, I think that I kind of see both sides of it, in that I know I would want to, I probably would be somewhat scrutinizing if I saw a certain actor, wearing our letters. Not necessarily the colors, I can understand that, but wearing the letters and the shield, I could kind of see that. Whereas, it's something that is earned. Membership in these organizations is something that is hard earned, and people who have gone through the process in order to earn membership in these organizations, they take it very seriously. And so to see someone, even though it could be considered, publicity for your organization, I think that, when they see someone there, right, when they see someone there and to know that they're not actually a member, that rubs some people the wrong way. And so I think the best compromise they could have had was to do what they were doing early is and have her wearing the colors and saying she's a member and not actually showing the letters and the shield. I think that would have been the best compromise where everyone would have understood and identified her as being that character as being a member of the organization and still give the organization publicity, but still not offend the people who are really serious about having other people wear the symbols and the shield. So I think the best thing for them to do was to keep the middle compromise as they were in the beginning, and everybody's happy.
But I'm at a loss. I mean, yeah, okay. So you work for these letters and these colors, fine. But you're pretending. It's not. And I actually watched the episode because I wanted to see, did she do something to
Right,
disrespect the
right,
organization?
and
Did she
that
do
right and
something?
right.
And literally, she did
She did
nothing.
nothing.
She
Right, I
she had
understand.
she had the colors on. She talked about going to an AKA party, and asked the other character Molly, who I guess is also, if she wanted to go. And I I think sometimes as Black people, we get so hypersensitive protecting our own, which I understand. That's the only reason I'm not going in, because I understand that as Black people, we have so little in this country that we have what we do have, we protect fiercely. I get that. But sometimes
Okay.
we just got to step back and say, okay, you know what? It's a TV
Is it
show, it's
really
a
that?
popular TV show.
Is it really that crucial?
Man, I mean,
Mm,
I'm just, Percy, you're not in a fraternity, are you?
no, I'm not.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not.
And I know my vision is skewed because I don't have on any particular rose colored or purple or blue colored glasses. But what so, that my wife and I were talking about, because she brought up the fact that on a different world, anytime that they did a fraternity or sorority, they made up something. So I guess as not to offend anybody, but I had to point out to
Right.
my wife, the whole damn premise was made up. There was nothing real about the situation. Well, they had real situations, but any organ, all organizations were made up pretty much on that show. And I
Actually,
think that
no.
it fell in. There is no Hillman
They
No.
College,
no. There's no Hillman College, but they had real members of
right?
Black Greek letter organizations
They did.
in the background
They did.
during the show. They weren't just made up
They did.
organizations,
They did. But when
and
the
those people were
characters on the
actual
show
members.
pledged, right? But when the characters
Right.
on the show pledged, they didn't pledge any of those. They pledged made
They
up
didn't. Yeah.
organizations.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct. They pledged to made up
Okay.
organizations. That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So I'm like, okay, so a different world handled it differently, which I guess why there was no uproar. But
Right.
Well,
I just, oh,
I mean, it's just like school days, from school days to a different world to um, what was that show that BET was going to try to do about the Divine Nine, and they said no, you cannot do it. I mean,
oh
like you
Lord,
said,
now
like you said,
that was a whole other thing.
yeah, but it's just, but like you said, we only have so much, so little, um, and we try to hold on to it, and I get it, because once you let one person do it, and of course a lot of other people gonna start doing it, then all hell's gonna really break loose. So I kind of understand why they doing what they're doing. They've been doing this the whole time. This is nothing new, um, since I know of. So but then again, I really don't care. So that's just me. But I'm not in a fraternity, so I don't understand it. I know someone come to me, well, if you was in one, then you really will understand and all that, blah blah blah. I'm 53 years old. What else can you tell me? So you know,
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, the whole thing with the Black Greeks, fraternity sororities, and I at one point in my life I looked at them with disdain, and being married to one, I understand a little bit what's going on. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want the Delta assassins to come get me. But I
And they will.
get, yeah, jeez, I'm trying my best to stay on their good side.
I work with
Talking about
old
Red
money
Widow.
like
Yeah, I get, I, I get us being protective, but at some point it's just like, okay, let's ease up just a little bit. We've got so many other things to concern ourselves with, and this is actually
That's
a
true.
black show,
Right.
and
I
and
love to
this
read
is a
that
show
comment,
that
but that
that
comment's like
is.
blurry.
I thought it was just me.
Comments are blurry. No, 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 no. There's been a couple that come through.
I thought that was just me. Okay. And I'm actually going to go to this show and try and read some of the comments as well because I'm sure people are really tripping on this. And it's such a hot topic too. And I just want after a while I get tired of us jumping on each other's backs with this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It becomes an
Yeah.
issue. Oh, so Mario, hey Mario commented, so only a real priest can portray a priest, only a real cop can portray a cop. Now, I brought it with my wife. I said, okay, so if you're a cop, there are organizations that are portrayed on TV where the organizations themselves aren't looking to sue or looking for litigation. And why did I say that in front of my wife? Shit, we almost got to go fight on the highway. She wanted to fight me about this, and I'm just saying, you can't have it another. I mean, as an educator, I look at shows with teachers and giggle because it's so far from being realistic. And
Very
I'm sure
often.
cops feel the
Yeah.
same way. And I'm sure doctors feel the same way. I was a huge fan of ER, but I know everything they did on that damn show was probably illegal or immoral in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know. It gets to a point where it becomes silly for me, I think. Uh, I like to keep an open mind with these things so I don't have arguments in at home. But it's too late. I did.
I understand. That's why I said the best thing to do would be to have that compromise where you mention that the person's a member and you just don't you never show the symbols or the shield on their person.
Well,
Like you can have it in the
James
background.
James Hall said that she was seen drinking out of an AK previous seasons, and I guess it wasn't an issue. I'm not that big a fan, so I don't know if she has or hasn't. But
Okay.
again, it just it.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
The voice of God is back.
the voice of God speaks.
So I didn't see the episode. I don't watch the
The
show.
voice got to the guy got to turn his voice up.
But what I heard was that yeah, my mic is probably not as the greatest, but I heard that the other issue is that there was a lot of paraphernalia and stuff in the background. But the reason that happened is that the woman they shot it in an AKA's house. That scene was shot in an AKA's actual home, which is why the stuff was in the background.
Okay. So they had a problem with that,
Mm,
the stuff being in the background.
From my understanding, yeah.
so I saw the episode. I didn't see that. I saw her. She had, like I said, she had on the colors pink and green. She had a scarf tied around her purse that had the shield on it. And the only other time that I saw the letters was they were in conference hall, and Amanda Seal's character had on. You couldn't even see the whole AKA. You saw the A, and then it was obscured from titty down. So you really didn't even see the whole AKA. Like the scarf that was on her purse, unless you knew, you couldn't tell that was an AKA scarf. It just seems like people are jumping at the be mad. The people want to be mad about something, and they said, you know what, we just gonna take this up and take up this torch against network television for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense to me. I see both sides, but I still think it's silly. So whatever. I can't condone this because there actually is litigation that they're trying to take against the show. They're actually trying to sue the show for copyright infringement. What would it be? Mario, you're a lawyer. What would they be able to sue the show for um, using that particular logo or brand or whatever? So who knows? It's stupid. So well, we've gone down that rabbit hole far enough.
Okay.
Fuck it.
What
Fuck it.
in real life? Did they go to
Anything else? But I
Stanford?
mean, just huh?
I said in real life, did they actually go to Stanford?
No, none of them went to state.
But they're all wearing Stanford stuff.
Right. So Stanford should sue them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's all make believe. I mean, come on, black people. I love y'all too much for y'all to be this sensitive about you. Hey, fuck it. On to the next. Uncle Percy, can we do your way back now?
If Roy has it.
Uncle Roy, we got Uncle Percy's way back.
Yep.
Uncle Roy, by the way, is doing double duty, so we
Yes, I got
appreciate
it.
everything Uncle Roy is doing. Cool.
So the Waybacc, this time it's been weeks since I've done one, but this is cartoons from 80s and the 90s, and I got a nice music background to it. So hope everybody enjoy it. We'll talk after.
Ooh, music.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Get everybody in the step together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And yes, it was
Okay,
pretty
Percy.
long.
So I have to ask you, what's the name of that song, Percy?
It's called Tank. It's a theme song to the last one, Cowboy Bebop.
So before we get into this, I want to talk about the fact that I've been binge watching Cowboy Bebop, and part of the reason I binge watch Cowboy Bebop is because that song is at the beginning. They use
Yeah,
that song as the theme, and that
yeah,
song is so fucking good. I love that song. I didn't even
you got,
realize I'm an
you have to
old man and I'm late to the party, but I love that song. So
you
anyway,
have to hear
Percy,
the
you
whole.
threw a lot of yeah, you threw a lot of shit at us right there, Uncle Percy. That was a lot to
So,
digest.
so yeah, so that's 20 years of, if I went from the 80s to the 90s, so that's basically 20 years of cartoons. But what I want to really talk about is, and this is where we left off when we did the 70s into the early 80s, is that as you can see, the cartoons basically changed from um, education to basically more action, and majority of the cartoon shows turned into, Marvel started really taking over. So you got the Spider-Man, the Spider-Woman, the Hulk, Iron Man. Super Friends was still flying around. Well, that's DC. Um, um, X-Men. A lot of stuff started coming out in the 80s. And then the next thing you know, towards the 90s, Saturday morning cartoons just basically ended. Everything went to cable. So then they started going. That's when you start seeing, like, Adult Swim. You got Cowboy Bebop. You had um, Nickelodeon, with from SpongeBob all the way to Doug and all those shows and things like that. So that's what I was trying to say. Like, what really happened to Saturday mornings when we could just turn on the local channels and watch, get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing you watch is Super Friends, and then by noon, we either watch an American Bandstand or Soul Train. But in between that time, we were watching all these great cartoon shows. But if you didn't have cable, what were you doing? So
That's
that's the
very
part.
true.
So
No, that's true, man. So also a, a point that you're making, part of the point that being made is that a lot more of the cartoons were geared towards selling toys.
right,
And you had that's why you had Silverhawks and Thundercats and any
right,
other two words they could throw together to make a superhero because they were selling toys, and if that particular TV show wasn't selling toys, they'd pull it and throw out
right.
something else out there that would try and hook the kids' imagination to go out want to go out and buy it. Um, James Otis talked about the Fantastic Four, the old Fantastic Four cartoon
No,
back in the '80s, and the
right,
fact that it was a instead of the Human Torch, it was Herbie the Robot.
right,
So
right,
I believe I read somewhere the story goes is that they used Herbie instead of the Human Torch because somehow they didn't have the rights to use the Human Torch on television like that. So they created Herbie as kind of that fourth character, which shows you Marvel has come in the fact that they didn't own all the rights to all their characters back then. They're selling characters off to try and keep from going bankrupt. And now Marvel, it's hard to imagine Marvel being the juggernaut it is right now, that they wouldn't have control over all their characters. With the Fantastic Four and the X-Men actually coming back into the whole MCU. At one point, Marvel was flat broke and said, "Hey, here's Spider-Man for $1. Oh, here's a Human Torch, 50 cents." And it's terrible. Uncle Rod, which of those? There was quite a few of those that came out there. Which of those were you digging back in the day?
Can you
Uh-oh,
hear him?
can't hear you anymore, Uncle Rod. I can't hear him. I see his mouth moving. I don't.
can
Uncle
you
Rod, what'd you
can you
do?
hear me now? Can you hear
Yeah,
me now?
Got you, got you,
Okay.
got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that I remember hauling ass to get home at 3:30 so I could watch Transformers and GI Joe. Those are my shows when I was coming up. I like Thundercats. I like Silverhawks. There was another one I think from like that same style or that same animation group where it was like underwater or something. I think it was called Tiger Sharks because
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
they had
yeah.
space and they had space with the Silverhawks. Then they had yeah, I think it was
Uh-huh.
called Tiger Sharks. But anyway, yeah, they were pretty cool. And I remember every Saturday watching Thundar the Barbarian. I watched Thundar and then I watched Super Friends. So I remember all those are good Saturday morning memories for me.
Man,
Definitely.
you know what? I wonder how kids. It was special for us on a Saturday, or like you said, Rod, after school to come home and watch TV, or on a Saturday there was a specific time, and you had to be in front of the TV because if you weren't there, you missed it. Now
Yep.
kids can watch anything at any time, and
Right.
that's probably why the world is a disaster now, is because you don't have to wait for anything. Do I sound like a grumpy
One
old man right now? I'm shaking my fist
what
at the kids
Yeah.
on my lawn.
one bit of trivia though, I saw the Brave Star cartoon, which was the guy in space, like space western.
Right.
Yeah.
Brave Star Brave Star was supposed to be a descendant of John Blackstar. You remember the Black Star cartoon?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So
Filmation.
okay. So how many how long did it take for you all to recognize or to find out that Casey Kasem was the voice of half of the Super Friends? He was the voice of Scoop of Shaggy, and he was also the voice of on G-Force too.
He
Yeah.
was Mark, Battle of the
He was Mark.
Planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Casey
He was
Kasem
also
was the man.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
also Cliff Jumper, Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Casey Kasem could do anything. And then Ted Knight was the voice of Aquaman. Uh, and who did
And
Casey Kasem
and
voice
and
on Super Friends?
and the over
The
voice for
narrator.
Superman. He
Yeah.
was narrator. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Shaggy.
Yep.
That
But
that's like Casey Kasem was like the man in the cartoons back in the day.
And
I got one
he
for
was
you.
doing it for a long time.
Yeah. I got one for you, John.
Okay,
DuckTales. Who was Scrooge McDuck?
I haven't the slightest idea.
He was a Doctor Who.
Oh, you about the new one?
No,
Because that's David. Oh, who's the
that's
old one?
David Tennant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That David Tennant was the voice of Scrooge McDuck. Man, look.
Yeah.
If I'd have known that, I'd have been watching DuckTales from the beginning.
It's wild to see how people got their start. I'm gonna tell you who else
Yeah.
is like a voice actor god or goddess. It's Cree Summer.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You cannot bring up animation without bringing up Cree Summer and the fact that she's voiced almost every black little girl character that's been on TV.
Right.
And she was also
Yeah.
Penny on Inspector Gadget.
Right.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, so Cree Summer, my indoctrination to Cree Summer being all of these, I don't even remember how I found out, but I was watching a show and she was just listing her voice acting credits, and I was like, God damn, Cree, you and
Yep.
pretty much you Cree Summer was my childhood.
Just like old
Yeah,
boy
man.
I mean,
from oh man, what's the show? Uh damn. What's that chicken show on yeah, I forgot the name of it that quick. Comes on Adult Swim.
Robot Chicken.
look, the
Yeah,
chick,
Robot Chicken.
robot chicken. Okay.
And
So Phyllis Albert asked the question: was Beast Wars an '80s or '90s cartoon?
90s.
Beast Wars was 90s.
Okay. Okay. So I didn't watch Beast Wars. Is that even worth going back and look?
Like you said, John, was all about selling toys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
some people liked it a whole lot. Like, they liked the second or third version of Power Rangers. And at that point, they was clearly just trying to sell
Really?
merchandise. Yeah.
Because I remember Transformers, and then after Transformers, there was GoBots, and there was another Transformers ripoff too. What was that? Wasn't there like 3 ripoffs of Transformers?
Yeah.
Right, because GoBots was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
GoBots, I think, came out before Transformers.
Shut up. Did it?
Yeah, I think they were trying to beat them to the punch, and they came out first. But Transformers blew them out the water.
Wow. Okay, so James Otis brought up we can't mention Cree Summer and not bring up Phil Lamar as well. Phil Lamar is the voice guy. Absolutely.
Yep. Phil Lamar.
Yeah. Phil Lamar does Static. He does Samurai Jack. He does some stuff on Family Guy and The Simpsons too, if I'm not mistaken. But he's been doing this for years. Oh, and he was Jon Stewart on Justice League.
He was.
He is the real Green Lantern for a generation of kids who are like, who's that white man they're trying to put on us?
Right. Yep. We finally reached that point in time in which nobody knows Hal Jordan.
Which I am okay
and it's
with.
crazy.
I am fine
It's
with
crazy. Like everybody knows, hey, the Green Lantern is Jon Stewart. You know, nobody knows Alan Scott. Nobody knows Hal Jordan. It's crazy. Or Guy Gardner.
Okay,
for that matter.
so talking about voice guides, Keith David is a voice guide too. Keith David
Absolutely.
is the voice of God. Keith David is the voice of God. If Keith David walked in here right now and read the phone book, I'd be like, "Oh Lord Jesus, come take us away."
Yeah, he's very prolific as well.
So I also wanted to say the reason why I haven't brought up like the Power Rangers or Shazam and stuff like that, I think that's another category, like, you know, Saturday morning action shows, because there was a few good ones out there, even though I know one of them John don't like, but you know.
But were they good, Uncle Percy?
I mean, think about it. At that time, we what, 5, 6 years old. We didn't know what was real back then. It was the next best thing. I mean, come on. Especially now since Isis passed away. You know, she passed away last week.
Rest in peace to the actress who played Isis back in the 70s. That was back in the 70s, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's back in the 70s.
Mighty Isis.
I'm just saying, those are the shows we watch. I mean, it was nothing more than like, you know, watching the old Superman shows or the old Batman shows, you know.
Oh, you know what? Time out. I just recognized that my wife's Delta scarf is here on the wall. Should I take it down during the show? Should I take this down? Let me take this down.
I think you would leave that right where it is.
Don't take it down. You might lose.
Can I even touch it? I was about to say, I just touched it. I think I've
You might
got
want to leave that. Hey, you might want to leave that right where it is, Playboy. You don't want to cause any problems.
Right. Let me sit. I'm gonna sit in front of it. Just fellas, help me out. If I move too much and you see it behind me, make sure that Hey, John.
What about the hat?
That's Miss Moran's hat.
Okay.
And she wasn't Delta. There's a group called the Red Hatters Club. I don't want to say elder black women that Miss Moran was a member of. So we had that. We had to frame. No, for real. That's like a gang. Hey, when my mother passed away, they gave us they did something special for her at her funeral. So I had her red hat framed. Actually, my cousin Karen did that. But anyway, yeah, the red hat is fine. That's something else. But you know, that Delta scarf, Jack. Let's make sure I'm in front of it. Okay. Just move the camera, John. How's that? Okay. That's too much work.
Don't worry about it, bro. Let's keep it rolling.
All right. So before, oh Lord, guess who just texted me? Oh,
the wife.
My wife just told me to shut up. I've got a gag order. I got a gag order now. I can't. Yeah, I was told to be quiet. So, see, they're everywhere. Okay, so moving on before we go any
Crimson
further
and
down
Cream
that rabbit
Mafia.
hole. Look at that, I can't even talk anymore. Got me. All right, Uncle Roy, if you are there, we pull up. Since we ended the last segment, how about we pull up that Cowboy Bebop trail? That's possible.
So what brings you back from the dead?
A week ago, I did a job, a bounty. I had a partner, believe it or not.
He know what you used to be? Will I ever see you again?
They tried to kill me, Anna. If you need to find me, I go by Spike Spiegel these days.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
In this solar system, if the cops and the bounty hunters don't get you, the syndicate will. There's no happy ending here.
Spoken like a man who's never been in love.
I was.
What happened?
I was dreaming.
What do you say, fellas? You want to team up? I was thinking a 60-40 split. Going my way, of course.
Do not shoot her.
Please?
No.
What the actual fuck?
We're a team. The 3 of us. Go grab some bounties.
Please, I just want to kill her a little bit.
God damn it, Spike. It's Jamie.
You good guys. Or bad guys.
Depends on who you ask.
So before we go too deep into this, we're gonna have to
Okay.
revisit the whole '80s and '90s cartoon thing, Percy, because in the comments, people are talking about Gargoyles and Fat Albert, Harlem Globetrotters, Jackson 5. We got a lot of stuff that. Oh, Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. Now look
Yeah.
here. I'm not. You know, I love my black women, but Electra Woman and Dinah Girl did that shit for me back in the day. So anyway, so let's talk. I just want the people to know.
I was just
We
I was
see-
just
we
thinking the
see
same thing
comments.
about ISIS.
Right. So we will revisit this. Let's revisit this next week. But since we've already seen the trailer, Cowboy Bebop. So for those the uninitiated, Cowboy Bebop is what some say is the first great anime that was produced back in the late '90s, early 2000s. Well, actually, it was just one series, so late '90s. About a bounty hunter in space, and typical shit. But what made it different was because
Okay.
back in the '90s, it fused the Western along with the Asian culture, and the jazz was the background music for it all. And I am not a big anime fan. I will tell you in a heartbeat that I'm not real big on anime, but because the series is coming out on live action series is coming out on Netflix, I wanted to just kind of check it out, the cartoon out and see what it was about, and I'm really digging it. Actually, I wish DJ was here because there are a lot of similarities between this and Firefly. So much so that Joss Whedon should be a little uncomfortable that this live action TV show is coming out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there because Joss Whedon is an asshole, and we know that we've talked about that before. But
Okay.
are either of you familiar with the anime of Cowboy Bebop?
I am.
No, no.
I am. I've watched it before. I actually enjoyed it. One of the things that I noticed about the live action version is that they tried to recreate and they tried to replicate a lot of certain scenes
Yep.
from the actual anime, which is
Yeah.
cool. I really like
Hmm.
that. I like to see John Cho in an action hero role. I think that's cool as a leading man. So I'm kind of excited
Hmm.
for this. Not as much as for the season 2 of The Witcher, but I'm excited for it.
So John Cho, I think that it's good that John Cho got this opportunity because I think from the limited glimpses we got of him in Star Trek and just other stuff, I think he's a pretty solid actor and he deserves his chance to be a lead man in an action type deal. Um, because and there's been some backlash about them casting him as the lead character Spike Spiegel because John Cho is like 70 years old. So they're like, oh, he's too old for the role. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Oh, he's too old. He's in his 40s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't Spike Asian though?
Yes, he is. He is.
End of discussion.
He is.
Next.
So, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Now, what's interesting is that the pilot of the name of the ship is actually called Bebop, and the
Right.
pilot of the ship on the in the anime is not black,
No.
but they cast a black actor as the pilot. I'm waiting for black people to say, well, "Why the pilot got to be a black man?" I'm joking. I don't think there'll be any backlash about him being.
What you want to make the
But
dog
you
black?
know what? Yeah, why not? Black dog.
I
But
saw
okay,
that
so
and I was
go
like,
ahead.
I saw it and I was like, okay, I guess, you know, but and then I thought about how some people would flip out, like if Spike were another ethnicity, how much they flip out.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, uh, he reminds me of Barrett, the character from Final Fantasy VII. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, all right. I'm like, all right, let's do it. It's fine, whatever.
So one of my major concerns about this, and I've never really heard anybody speak on it, is that the anime is very sexist. Most of the
Hmm.
women in the anime are half naked, if I'm not mistaken. Did you get that vibe, Rod,
Yeah.
when you saw it?
The women in
Isn't that
anime
just
are
like in
what?
Firefly?
Wait, say it again, Percy.
Isn't Firefly kind of the same way too? The women that's portrayed in Firefly the same way?
Well, one of the women in Firefly was a straight up hoe. Was
Yeah.
like a companion, was having
A
sex for money.
companion,
So
not a hoe. Companion.
she had sex for money, right?
Oh man.
I mean, at least she wasn't a member of a black Greek sorority. So anyway, she was having sex for money. I'm gonna get a
Hey
text
man,
about that in like two
Ooh,
minutes.
he
you might
gonna
as
be
well just
walking
put
down the
this.
street.
You might as
He
well just
gonna
put
walk in
multiple
the store.
targets on you and say, "Hit me here."
He gonna walk in that store tomorrow. And he ain't gonna know what's gonna hit him. Some lady gonna throw something at him, and he ain't gonna know the reason why.
You know what? I would love for that to happen because that means a bunch of people are watching the show. So that would be fantastic. Yes, I will offend as many people as possible to get them to watch this show. Fantastic.
He's gonna
The
say, "I
views
couldn't
expressed
see
by the
who they
host of
were.
Grumpy Old Nerds are not right,
I
right,
couldn't
right.
see who they
The views
were.
expressed
They were
by
wearing pink and green."
the views expressed by the the views expressed by the host of Grumpy Old Nerds are not necessarily the views of those of Jericho Broadcast Networks. I put that disclaimer in there. So, but no, I dig the anime. I hope that the live action adds a little bit more depth to it. I hope it's not quite as sexist as the anime was. I hope that because there were a few things that I saw in the anime, I was like, There's one character, um, clearly a man who's like 7 feet tall with an afro. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, what exactly y'all trying to do? Um, but you know, I hope they tone down some aspects of it, but I enjoy it.
I think they're
And
gonna have
you
to.
know, Joss Whedon is nice.
I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into the Titans.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you liked the Titans.
Ye- I do.
he,
I,
had,
I
he had to
do,
take a
but
breath. They were like,
I,
yeah.
I, I yeah, I do, but I just don't want to turn into where it gets to a point you just can't get into it. Like this last season, I just turned it off because, like I said, the whole Hawk dying and bringing in the what's his name? Oh, I keep forgetting his name. The character, the dead Robin, whatever his name is. I
Red
keep
Hood.
forgetting the Red Hood. Like whatever. So
So okay, I'm reading the comments. I have two I want to address. So Brian feels that this will be trash. I don't know why.
Okay.
Brian, please elaborate. Why do you feel this will be trash? Yeah, Brian was like, this will be the last like the Airbender live version. Hashtag trash. I was like, damn, you think it's gonna be that bad? Because last Airbender was pretty bad.
yeah.
And Mario says that he's seen some anime stuff. So Mario, I have to ask if you've seen this, and how do you think it will translate into live action version? Because like I said, it looks and as someone else on the show said, it looks like they're trying to go visually the same way that they did with the anime. So just how that translate would be interesting to see. So okay, I think we can jump off Cowboy Bebop for the moment
It's gonna be
before I get
trash.
myself. Yeah, Brian's just like trash, terrible. Damn, Brian, where did that vibe come from? But we have other trailers to discuss. Let's check out as I scroll through my notes because I'm Uncharted. Now, okay, this is why I wish DJ was here. This is apparently a video game,
It is based
Yeah.
on a
and
video game.
Yeah.
and Tom Holland will always be Spider-Man to me. I don't care what he does from now on. He will always be Peter Parker because he just seems like the perfect Peter Parker to me. Roy, if we could check out the Uncharted trailer, and so Brian can call that trash too.
There are places out there you can't find on any map. They're not gone. They're just lost.
Hey, kid. A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy. I think you're here because you're your brother.
Well, you know my brother Sam?
If we find that gold, we find him too.
Who the hell is this? I'm a friend of Sully's. Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know him, one of them.
You are a collector.
Well, I dabble.
I don't dabble. My family has been looking for this fortune for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatened to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea who you partnered with.
I've been dreaming about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
Guess I'll keep on living.
Oh my God!
I shouldn't have come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
Yeah, I got. I didn't play the video game. Mark Wahlberg is unimpressive, and Antonio Banderas is nice. Good to see him. Uh, Tom Holland is just Peter Parker with costume. Yeah, I mean, help me out, fellas, because I really have nothing for this.
First of all, I'm not a PlayStation person. I'm an Xbox, so I'm gonna. If I'm playing the game, I'm playing Just Cause. I think Just Cause is much better than Uncharted. That's just me.
Damn.
Second of all, this movie is nothing but a rip off of Tomb Raider. This a male version of Tomb Raider, and I don't think it's going to be any good.
Okay.
Damn. Hashtag trash.
There you go.
All right. Well, as far as Uncharted goes from the video game, the main character in Uncharted is a guy named Nathan Drake, and I think Nathan Drake is played by Tom Holland. Um, I think it's supposed to be like an origin story for Nathan Drake because I believe his mentor's name was Sully, and I think that's who Mark Wahlberg was playing. So this is because Nathan Drake, when you first see him in a video game, he's a lot older. So I'm thinking this is kind of going to be like the origin story for Nathan Drake, and it is very much a male Tomb Raider. Although I think the action scenes again, I think they're going to try to do a lot of what was seen in the video games because the scene about the scene with him hanging out of the plane that's directly from one of the games. So it happens almost exactly like that in the game. So
Okay.
they're trying to bring the fans into the game and people who've never heard of it, trying to hopefully merge the two fan bases and get them together.
Oh,
I'll
just like
watch it.
Mortal Kombat.
So
Bad writing, Mortal Kombat, man. Bad writing.
So okay,
Or
so
Doom.
you're saying the character, what?
Doom.
He said, "Oh, Doom."
Doom. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Which one?
Hashtag
Because
trash.
there was a second one. There was
There
another
really
one.
was.
Either one. Either one. The one with the
So
Rock or the
okay,
one with the. It
I
doesn't
thought
matter.
I thought the one with the Rock wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad,
Was it
right?
worth the $9.50 you spent in the movie theater for it at the time?
Yeah.
Oh no, I saw it on cable. So I saw it on
Oh,
cable. I
okay.
didn't see it in theater.
All right.
So maybe that skewered my. But I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, what the?
It's not that
Let me sit
bad
down
because
and
I can
watch
turn
this.
and switch this shit at any time.
Okay, well, hashtag trash. So, our next movie trailer would be Red Notice. Okay, so I have to admit, I like watching The Rock, and I like watching Ryan Reynolds be just Ryan Reynolds because this movie is basically The Rock being The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot being Gal Gadot. So, Roy, if you could bring this up for us, please. Big them kicking and punching each other.
Special Agent John Hartley, FBI. Been tracking your scores for a while now. Every city, every heist. Now that you've been tagged with red notices, you've become the world's most wanted criminals. And I'm the only one who can bring you in.
Where'd you get that jacket? It's a statement piece. Somewhere there's a very nude cow whispering, worth it.
Looking for something specific or just browsing?
You're under arrest.
Oh my God. Read the room.
You want to arrest me? Arrest me.
I just want the egg.
Help me catch her, and I will help you.
Teamwork.
Live and direct, you know we get that.
Team. It feels weird in my mouth.
Hello, boys. How's it going with your partner in crime?
We're work wives. We're not work wives.
Sister wives.
We're not any kind of wives. We both know that this whole thing is going to end with you in handcuffs.
Promises.
Know you heard about me, right?
Bye-bye, Agent John Hartley.
Live and direct, you know we get that.
Okay, so basically, The Rock, Kevin Hart for Ryan Reynolds, and this is standard Rock fare. You know, The Rock stands there and muscular and a little bit more articulate than Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger before him. And Ryan Reynolds is there to make you giggle. And Gal Gadot is there to be sexy. Now, okay, couple of things. First of all, have you all heard The Rock's rap song? What's going on? When did he have time to make a rap song?
The same time Shaq did.
Okay. And then the second thing. Now, I am a lover of black women. I love my black women, but Gal Gadot got a little something going on there for a skinny white girl.
Hey man,
I
this is the
just got to
second
put that
time,
out
bro.
there.
This is the second time.
I know, right? My wife is an earshot too. What you doing?
Second time. That's two
I
strikes.
know, right? Just dig the hole deeper. So, are we looking at this and saying trash
Right
like
now,
Brian,
right now,
or
the mole man is
how?
like, bro.
So, are we looking at this like Brian and saying hashtag trash? How are we feeling about this one?
It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be
Yeah,
entertaining.
that's about it.
It's a Netflix movie. You sit back with popcorn, you watch it, chill out. You don't expect too much in the way of realistic physics or
Oh
science.
yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
you just sit back and enjoy it, man. You watch it for the
Yeah.
laughs.
Yeah, do we even know what this is really about, aside from them wanting to steal that egg? We just know it's three beautiful people on screen beating the shit out of each other.
We got The Rock's verse in that
Was
rap
the
song.
Wait, what'd you say, Roy? You back
We
there whispering to us again.
we got The Rock's verse in that rap song.
Oh, let's hear Rock. Let's hear the Rock rap. Let's hear the Rock rap.
They gon' take your face off. They gon' rumble. They gon' take your face off. They gon' rumble. They gon' take your face off. They gon' rumble. They gon' take your face off.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Like in some more in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I change the game, so what's my motherfucking name? What they gonna get though? Desecration, defamation. If you wanna bring it to the masses, face to face, now we escalating. When I have to but boost the asses, mean on ya. Like a dream when I'm rumbling, you're gonna scream, mama. So bring drama to the King Brahma. Come at you with extreme mana. Thank you, Brother Tech 9. Thank you, Terramana. One take. That's a wrap. Face off.
And
Okay.
like I said, Shaq made a rap video.
Yeah, but Shaq wasn't out there making women pregnant just by rapping at them. Shit. The Rock out there got women all over, falling out all over the place. Spitting lyrics and being all swollen and shit. I mean, damn. So, and then he sang. He was in a cartoon and he sang. So, you know,
Yep.
The Rock can do anything. So good for him.
You made me want to go to the gym
So,
tomorrow morning.
I mean, like, I'm about to pause the show and do some push-ups. Shit. But you know,
Yeah, man.
uh, oh,
He
okay.
did. He
Well,
didn't do a
good for
bad
them.
job,
I
man.
mean,
He didn't do a bad
no, he
job.
didn't. I think that I think that he is. I think that he is an all-around entertainer. I'm not a big wrestling fan, but I was looking at some of his promos that he was doing where he was just talking about people. And if that stuff is just off the cuff, the man's a genius because it made me giggle. And a lot of the stuff that he did, talking about the other guys, or just that was the black side of him coming out. He was jonesing on people like crazy. That wasn't the Hawaiian portion. That was the black side. That was his daddy coming out of him.
You know, he talks a
But
lot about his
yeah,
Samoan heritage. He does that a lot. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I like to hear him speak more about the other side of his heritage.
so I wonder if
Give it
that's
equal time.
because of his. Yeah, I wonder if that's part of it is because he was so close with his mom and had a strained relationship with his dad. And then I
Possibly.
wonder if because if he looking like that attending school, did the black kids really fuck with him like that? I wonder because no,
No,
it
but
came out that
okay,
way. But
okay. Yeah, nah, I understand what
you
you're
know,
saying, but also black people as a whole are a lot more accepting of kids like that.
are we? Are
Yeah,
we?
well, okay, when we were coming up, I know that we were a lot more
Okay,
accepting of kids from other
okay,
cultures, and we didn't just, crap on them just because they look different. At least not when I where I came up. You know, kids who look different from other cultures, different places in the world, whatever. We were cool with them as long as they were cool people. So
Yeah.
hopefully
I
he
would
grew
say
up in
that
that kind of environment.
in the environment that me and Percy came up in, like in our high school, a lot of
Yeah.
we came up with a different mix of cultures, and we were pretty accepting of everyone. So,
Right.
but then they grew up and discovered their whiteness. Anyway, so
They were
Rod,
reminded of it.
Rod's books we should be reading. Can we dive into that? I'm excited to see what we should be reading today, Rod.
All right, here we go. First off, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 31. This is a continuation of a storyline where Miles has gotten his new costume. He's out on a date with Starling. While he's out on this date, they are attacked by the Taskmaster. And all the time that Starling and Miles are trying to get away, Taskmaster is coming up with different ways to continues to track them down. So eventually, what happens is he finds a way to get past Miles' spider sense. Okay, and he ends up kidnapping Starling, where Miles thought all the time he was the original target, but he was not, in fact, the target, and it was Starling.
Hmm.
And so the issue ends with him attempting to um, stop the getaway vehicle the Taskmaster and Starling were in, and he's unsuccessful. And
Okay.
that's where the issue ends.
So we're
So I'm
still looking at
curious.
Miles
I'm
in
curious.
that old ragged ass costume, right?
Yes, he's still in a new costume. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
going
that
to be
costume's
a
terrible.
yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing or if they're trying something and they're waiting to see what kind of reaction they get from the readers. But if they're waiting on reaction from the readers, they don't have to wait long. This should last no more than two more issues. He's got to go back.
Oh, the readers hate the readers hate it. The readers hate it.
Yeah. Well,
Good,
the
good.
people that I
Okay.
know don't like it. I
All
didn't
right.
like it when I first saw
Nice.
it either. There's several parts of it that I'm like, not really necessary.
I mean, it's a
I kind of
Taskmaster.
janky
know.
it's a janky costume.
I mean, I kind of know what they're trying to do with it, but I think that they're trying to make it
So
like, okay, well, he's an urban teenager, so we got to have urban elements to it, and that's not necessarily the case. Not like they want, not like this, anyway.
Taskmaster
hey, it's what the
never.
it's
Say again,
what?
I'm
Percy.
sorry. I was saying Taskmaster always wasn't Spider-Man's villain, wasn't he? He was
No,
somebody else's villain. Yeah.
he's as far as I remember, the first time I saw him was in the Avengers.
Yeah.
So what he ends up he is
But
a trainer of he's a trainer of minions for supervillains.
Mhm.
He trains people for
and
supervillains, and he ended up
and he was in
training
the Black
the
Widow movie,
Thunderbolts.
Right.
Yeah.
and he was in the
But that's what I'm
Black
getting
Widow
at.
movie, so it's cross promotion.
Was he originally a Black Widow villain or?
Originally, no,
No.
nope, no.
All
They just
right.
kind of they
Well,
found a way to
great.
put him in the movie, which was cool until you found out that it was a girl. But
Yeah.
whatever. The scenes
Okay.
before that were
Hash,
cool.
hashtag trash.
All right. Next up, the Amazing Spider-Man, number 76. This is also a continuing storyline of what's called Beyond. This is chapter 2, where we see the return of Spider clone Ben Riley, and he is under the employ of a corporation, and he is a corporate version of Spider-Man. So of course he and Peter get into it, but them getting into it is interrupted by the UFOs showing up. And during the battle, Peter is gravely wounded. He's poisoned. He's been poisoned and he's been radiation poisoned. So he's in the hospital with Mary Jane watching. It appears that he something's going on in his spider sense is actually his body is actually fighting himself because the sickness is in himself. I don't know how that's going to end up, but Ben then once he talks to Peter goes out and fights the UFOs. He finds them and takes them on by himself. And him finding them is where the issue ends. But it's really interesting to see how this is going to turn out with Peter because it looks like it might be the end for a little while for Peter Parker, unless something major happens.
So, how many Spider-Man are out there currently?
3. Peter, Miles, and Ben Riley.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
hold on.
So,
There's another one.
oh,
There's because
oh
the
Lord,
Scarlet Spider's out there.
who's the
So there's
Scarlet
another
Spider?
one. Originally, it was Ben Riley. I'm not sure who it is now, but the Scarlet Spider is actually in the next book that we're going to the next book we're going to be reviewing,
Oh, oh, joy. Okay.
which is Iron Man number 13, which is the continuing storyline of Iron Man and his thrown together group of heroes trying to stop Korvac from gaining the power cosmic off of Galactus's homeworld ship, his home ship. Um, Tony is still dealing with injuries from the first fight. He's on a morphine drip in his armor, and that's beginning to take its toll. He and the rest of the group happen to beat some of Korvac's people that he's converted to his cause, one of them being the original Human Torch. They end up freeing the original Human Torch from his bondage, but unfortunately, some of the other people get taken out in the battle, and they end up not being able to stop Korvac from getting into the chamber in which the power cosmic is held. So, in a desperate attempt to stop him, Tony also enters the chamber with Korvac. So, we can only guess about what's going to happen with that, except for the fact that they have already given us a preview about Tony having the power cosmic. So, we know that's going to happen. So, is it going to be Tony along with Korvac's personality, or will it just be Tony? Is the question. So we're going to be
Okay.
getting Cosmic
So,
Iron Man
okay. So,
coming up.
all right. I don't read the big two anymore because it seems to be way too convoluted now. And then I would have no jumping on point. You know what I mean? Where where would be a good jumping on point for like say Iron Man? Where would be a good jumping on point?
With this new volume, it probably would be Iron Man 1. It's only in
Okay.
13 at this point, so 1 would be a good point. Um, it's funny you mentioned it's funny that you mentioned the big two because next week I plan on having comics not done by the big two.
Okay.
We're looking at Boom Studios and Image because there's a comic done
Nice.
by Image that I want to talk about, and it's called Prodigy.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So
Nice.
we'll do that one next week,
So,
and
okay.
that's it. And that's it for my
Don't.
comics. You should be reading.
Okay. I have another question. Hold on.
What's up?
So, doesn't it get convoluted when they have characters crossing over from book to book? Are they trying to establish any kind of continuity, or are they just saying, you know what, let's just throw these stories out there? You know what? I feel like using Wolverine today. Okay, are we gonna check with the editor to see what Wolverine's doing? Nope. We just gonna have Wolverine in our story. To hell with what he's doing over in X Men.
It
Come
seems
on,
that
let's
way.
use Spider Man in this story.
Yeah, it
Let's
really
use
does
Spider
seem
Man in
that
this
way,
story. Well, hell, there's 5 Spider Men. Pick one and throw them in the story. Let's
right?
see what
Pick one
happens.
and throw them in there because the Scarlet Spider's in this one. But yeah, it seems that way sometimes. But when they have major events, they kind of will give you hints as to when this takes place as it relates to the other characters' main continuities. So they still kind of play fast and loose with it, but when
Hmm.
clarification is necessary, they try to do that a little bit. Not so much like sticklers for continuity, but when they feel it's important, they'll kind of nudge people in the right direction.
Okay, whatever you say. So,
Hey, I always
yeah,
say
I can't.
look,
I
stuff
just
like
can't.
this. I always say stuff like this
Uh,
is why they had Crisis on Infinite Earths.
right, exactly.
That's
Because
exactly
it gets
why.
to a point where there's just too much shit going on, and they say, you know what? Let's just blow everybody up and start again. And
Yep.
although these are works of fiction, one of the selling points for me of comic books when I was a kid was that of the continuity and stories going someplace. And it'd be like, okay, well, the Avengers are assembling, but the Vision isn't in this particular story because he's making a guest starring, has a guest starring spot in Fantastic Four this month or stuff like that, you know. And I like the fact that the editors of each book seem to be talking to each other. And it wasn't just about
Right.
how often we can throw popular characters out there on the page. It's about the integrity of the story. And it's about telling good stories and having all the books going maybe parallel. I don't need to have every character in every book I read. Sometimes I just want to read a Spider Man story with just Spider Man. And what's scaring me is that the MCU seems to be going places, seems to be going where there has to be 2 or 3 other heroes in a Thor film, as opposed to Thor just being that character. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think in some of those films, and as far as the MCU is concerned, I think that they've kind of made the decision that certain people can't carry a film by themselves, and they need to have guest stars.
Right.
It's either that or they're using those films as opportunities to introduce new characters. And maybe down the
Right.
line
Exactly.
those new characters have their own solo films because Thor, well, I mean, Clint Barton first showed up in Thor. Black Widow
Hmm.
first showed up in Iron Man.
Yep.
So they're kind of doing things that way, it seems. But
Yes.
hopefully they
Yeah.
won't have those issues with continuity with the films.
Oh, it's coming. Believe you me. They have enough characters in these movies. It's coming. But enough of my years to get off my lawn. I think that's a close for today.
Well,
Uncle Percy, how we looking in terms of the COVID?
well, the committee passed the emergency um, use of Pfizer for kids under the age of 12. So hopefully the FDA
Really?
and the CDC will pass that this week, and then starting hopefully next week we can start vaccinating kids. So hopefully we'll by Christmas the numbers really should be going down, and hopefully by the beginning of the year everything will be semi back to normal.
Hmm.
Cool.
But
Excellent.
but you know what the issue is going to be, because now the parents are really going to be acting a fool, because it'll be like, you stepping on my kid's freedom. Why my kid need to get a shot? Well, your kid's got to get a shot anyway for measles and everything else, and they're supposed to be vaccinated. Coming back to anyway. So what's one more shot? Well, so it's going to be
I
some
don't have a I don't
issues.
have a problem. They say I don't have a problem with the shots. Well, I don't know what is in those, but I really got a problem with
Right,
the shot with this shot, and I don't know what's in this one either.
right. So
But I didn't have a problem with the other ones.
right.
Right,
So
exactly. It's just
Yeah.
just yeah, just get vaccinated, and that's really about it.
okay. Uncle Rod, any words of wisdom before we leave?
I just want to kind of reiterate that. I know there's a lot of people, and I know they have their reasons for not wanting to get vaccinated. All I say is, really, really look at that. Really, really think on it. I think I mentioned this before. I've lost 3 people in my family to COVID, in my extended
Mm,
family, and I got a friend now that's fighting it, and I'm really pulling for them. I need them to get pulled through on this one. Right now, it's kind of iffy, so I'm
mm.
hoping that they pull through. Um, Please, if there's any way in which you can protect yourself from getting it, please be super careful if you can. If you feel like you're just not going to get vaccinated, if you want to get vaccinated, please go out and do it. Don't hesitate.
Nice. Good work. And praying for your friend that they recover from this.
Yep.
Yeah, I
If
appreciate it.
Aunt if Auntie Nicole was here, she would tell us to watch Hydro Betty on YouTube. She'd be pumping out those videos like water, Jack. There's like 5 videos a day. Please check out Hydro Betty on YouTube. She's
Yeah, she cranking them
the way
out.
we're going, man, she does, but the way we're going, we may need to start growing our own food at this point. And if Uncle DJ was here, he would tell you he's freshly unemployed, but he just finished working on an Apple TV series. So whatever the name of the show is, I'm sure he'll plug it when it comes out. And go check out his book on Amazon. What's the name of his book, Percy?
Oh shit, I don't know. I just bought the book.
Oh, God damn it.
He put out a rant.
I don't know what
He
it
put
is,
out
but
a
buy
rant.
that.
He put out a rant yesterday about people
He
ain't buying
did.
his book, and I'm like, I
He
was like,
did.
wait a minute, I bought I did not buy his book.
I
I ain't want,
when it
I
first
didn't
came
want to
out,
be on
I
his
bought it.
dance on
Right. I bought it and read it, and it's actually a good read. I don't know the name of it at this time, but look on Amazon. Look for DJ Collins, and he only has one book, so
I don't know what
I
it's
don't
called,
know.
but it was good.
You know
But it
we in
was good,
trouble.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a
know.
good book. I just joined his book today.
Both of y'all are saying, "Oh, it was a great book." I don't know what it's called though.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. This is ridiculous. Hold on. We gonna find the name of this man's book
The baker's
because
dozen.
he ain't gonna.
The baker's dozen. The baker's dozen.
Baker's do- Baker's dozen. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Jesus.
That's it.
So let's try it again. All right, take two. Uh, DJ Collins, the author, please check out The Baker's Dozen on Amazon or Kindle or we got a message from somebody. I hope it's not him.
What does it say? The
So,
baker's
okay,
dozen.
it
You
wasn't him.
idiot.
Baker's Dozen, asshole. Yeah. So yes, please check out anything written by DJ Collins. Please check out djcollins.net and .com and then the other .org, .school, .net, whatever. Check it out
Hey, DJ
and
gonna
read his
clown when he
stuff.
gets back on the show, man.
Yeah,
Yes, he
we
is.
in trouble. We
He's
in
gonna,
trouble.
yeah, he's gonna talk about us incessantly. Yes. So for the Uncle Roy, anything happening on the network that we should be aware of? Waiting for him to whisper sweet nothings into our ears. Not tonight. Okay. Well, that was short and sweet. So, for
Not tonight, I have a headache.
right. So for Uncle DJ, Auntie Nicole, for Uncle Percy, and for Uncle Rod, I am Uncle John. Thank you for joining us this evening. Appreciate you checking us out, and we will see you next week. Same. I don't want to say something that may be a copy infringement. Same nerd time, same nerd channel. How's that sound? We'll talk to you next week.